Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Paramananda Madhavam. The text that we are going to study is Drig Drishya Viveka, also called as Vakya Sudha. This is a very, very popular text, and therefore I am sure some of you must have already studied it also. You all have not studied this text before? Okay. How many of you have already studied this text? See, there's a sizable number. And therefore my work is easy. Because you have all studied also. But yet we'll go verse by verse. Paunah punyena shravanam kuryat. Again and again one should do shravana. Paunah punyena, again and again. Shravanam kuryat, shravaning, listen. Now if again and again we have to listen, it goes without us saying again and again we have to reflect. And it goes without saying again and again we must meditate. So those who have heard this before, it's a good opportunity to reflect further. And if you have reflected before, meditate on also this further. The Upanishads themselves, again and again, say the same thing so that we get it. Tattvamasi was told 9 times. How many times? 9 times. And each time it was said in a slightly different manner. Because when the approach is manifold, we can get the truth. And therefore, even as we study, we'll see what different approaches are possible. Okay? All right. So, we enter into the text. But some introduction I have to give also. This text, Drig Drishya Viveka, as the very name of the text says, employs the methodology of differentiating the drik from the drishyam. Viveka, differentiation. I've used the word methodology. That word methodology is the translation of the Sanskrit term prakriya. So what is the prakriya used here? What is the methodology used here? The methodology used here is differentiating the seer from the seen. Drik is seer. Sometimes you use the word drashta. That also means seer. Drishyam means seen. So differentiating the seer from the seen. Every methodology is for a purpose. So what are you going to gain by differentiating the seer from the seen? What we are going to gain is clarity about the nature of the self. Now, why do you say that by differentiating the seer and the seen we get clarity? Because at this point, the seer and the seen are mixed up inextricably, so to say. I consider myself to be the knower. Is it not? Identifying myself with the body, I express myself as a seeing, knowing self. The seeing, knowing person. Identifying with the body, identifying with the senses, identifying with the mind. So, I have become one with the body, sense, mind conglomerate. Can I use that word? Conglomerate. Swamiji, what is the word conglomerate? Collection. The body, the senses, the mind, one collection is there and I become one with that. This collection is called in Sanskrit Sanghata. So identifying with this, I have become a person. I have become an individual. I have become a knower. And then I say, I know, I see, I experience. Now when we say, I know or I see or I experience, who is the I? So using the process of very knowing, using the process of experiencing, which we all continuously do, I experience, I know, I see. This is the basic fact of life. There is no living person who can be considered living if he doesn't experience, if she doesn't know, if she doesn't see. Janati. This is the basic fact of life. Life is always, even in modern science, if you take, what is life? They say, what is the proof of life or where is life? How do you know life is there? Response to stimuli should be there. Then we say life is there. And what is response to stimuli? Response to stimuli is first perception and knowledge. That's why if somebody is swooned or fainted, and then they, what do they say? They help the person come back to awareness. Then first they ask, do you see me? What is this? 4. Good. Life means knowledge. Life means experience. Life means perception. Right? Now, using this very process of knowledge, experience, perception, Sri Shankaracharya, this is a very basic fact of life. And then, therefore, Shankaracharya takes this basic fact of life, the author, and then he helps us discover ourselves. I say I am the seer. I say I am the knower. I say I am the experiencer. Now tell me who is this I, which is the seer, the knower, the experiencer. Come on, tell me. Taking the very basic facet of life, of knowledge, a methodology is evolved to discover the self. All right? And what is this methodology? let us really see who is the seer. You say you are the seer, but when you say you are the seer, is the whole thing the seer? Your body, your senses, your mind, you say all this is you. Is this whole thing the seer? Yes, you are the seer. Yes. You are the knower. Yes. You are the experiencer. Right. But the whole thing is knowing? Or is there a deeper knower? Is there a deeper seer? Is there a deeper experiencer? You are the inner knower, isn't it? What you know is other than you. You are the knower. So track the knower, track the true knower by differentiating the knower from the known. These are the factual experiences that I have of myself, which nobody has taught me. Nobody needs to teach me about me. What is it? What are these basic factual knowledge? I am the experiencer one. Nobody needs to tell. Anybody told you you are the experiencer? No. You yourself know you are the experiencer. Very good. Now these things are kept as de facto. With these de facto, or what we know for ourselves, that becomes the guiding principle. I am the experiencer, number one. And where are you the experiencer? I am not outside, I am inside. So what am I? I am the inner experiencer. Nobody has taught you. You know this for yourself. Now, when you know for yourself that you are the inner experiencer, let's find out the inner experiencer actually. Then we have found you out. Yes? This is the method. So, nothing is here which is actually taught. But everything is here which we actually realize. In other words, you start meaning what you say. I say something, but I behave in some other manner. That's not realization. What is realization? When you mean what you say, then only that is knowledge. Then only that is actual realization. Now you say you are the seer, you say you are the knower, you say you are the experiencer. Who is this? Suppose you say this whole thing, this. Let's check it out. That is a methodology. So what is the methodology adopted here? The methodology adopted here is differentiating the seer from the seen. What is this methodology meant for? To find out the true self. Swamiji, when you say the methodology adopted here, that means are there many methodologies adopted in other texts in some other manner? Yes. There are many methodologies in Vedanta to come to experience the self, to discover the self. Some of them you also know, probably you may not tell them in those words, but you will know. For example, Sharira-traya Viveka. Yes? Those of you who have studied some Vedanta before will know. Gross body, subtle body, causal body. Self is other than the gross body, subtle body, causal body. Sharira-traya Viveka. Sharira, body. Sharira-traya, three bodies. Sharira-traya Viveka, differentiating the self from the three bodies. That is one methodology. Like how you have Drig Drishya Viveka, that is one more methodology. Then some of you might know Panchakosha Viveka. If you have already studied some Tattva Bodha or Atma Bodha or any basic text, Viveka Chudamani, you'll say Panchakosha. Yes, Swamiji, we know what the Panchakoshas are. What are the Panchakoshas? Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha. Self is different from these koshas, called Panchakosha Viveka. Each one of them are prakriyas, methodology to discover the self. Different methodologies, but the point what they finally communicate, what they help you know is one. What is that? Discover the self. So, Shariratraya Viveka, Panchakosha Viveka. What other methodologies are there? Yes, of course, I told you. Drig Drishya Viveka, Avastatraya Viveka. Avastatraya, Avastha state. The waking, the dream, and the deep sleep. Avastatraya Viveka. What is that which continues in all these three states without change? That I am. Waking state goes away, but still I continue, right? What is that I? Dream state is there now. What is that which is common in the waking and the dream state? Even waking dream, everything goes away. I'm in deep sleep. I am in deep sleep. So I am is there. What is that I which continues even in deep sleep? The other methodology. Avastatraya Viveka. Many other Vivekas are also there. Karya, Karana Viveka, etc., which we don't have to go into now. But the basic methodologies to know the self are these. Can you please tell me what all I said? What are the basic methodologies? First one, Shariratraya Viveka. Second one, Panchakosha Viveka. Third one, Avastatraya Viveka. Fourth one, don't forget that. That is Drig Drishya Viveka. I would have been very happy if you said first one, Drig Drishya Viveka. But you all said fourth. It's okay. All the four types. So we have seen in this text, basically the author takes up Drig Drishya Viveka to help us discover the self. Okay. And what are the introduction I have to tell you? About the author I have to tell you. Who's the author? Ādi Śaṅkarācārya. Ādi Śaṅkarācārya is so popular, so famous that he has become the all-pervading author. All-pervading author. But there are some commentaries, Sanskrit commentaries, very ancient commentaries, that say the author of this text is Swami Advayananda. He is another great stalwart in Vedanta. Swami Advayananda. He was the Prime Minister of the Vijayanagara Empire, of Prime Minister of Harihara Bukka and all. I think most of us will know Swami Advayananda as author of Panchadashi. Those of you who are Vedanta students, Panchadashi, very well known. Another beautiful text written by him, Jivan Mukti Viveka. It's a text on sadhana, a beautiful text. So some texts say that the author is Vidyaranyaji. And there are other manuscripts which say that it is not authored by Vidyaranyaji, but is authored by Vidyaranyaji's Guru Bharati Tirtha. They say. And I have seen those manuscripts myself. Bharati Tirtha. Bharati Tirtha and Swami Vidyaranyaji's style of writing is exactly same. Just as the Guru would write, the Shishya also writes. In fact, Panchadashi is not written wholly by Swami Vidyaranyaji. The first portion, some say 6 chapters, some say 9 chapters, were written by Bharati Tirthaji. And the rest of it was completed by Vidyaranyaji. Or some say the other way also. Well, that's not that important for students of Vedanta, because we are not students of history. Okay, students of history, these are very, very important things. Who is the author? Students of Vedanta, why should we worry who is the author? Because our interest is in Vedanta. No, Swamiji, but still, who is the exact author? Actual answer, I don't care. But if you insist, it should be. Swamiji, if you said why, I don't care, why are you saying? If you see the style of language, it resembles Vidyaranyji and Bharati Tirtha. And also some of the concepts which are brought out here in the text goes closely with their presentation. Okay? But it doesn't really matter. Okay? So I have told you what is the prakriya, I have told you what is the author, and now I think it is time to go to the verses. Correct? Shall we go? All of you are ready? This is a simple, beautiful, exquisite, logical text. So keep your mind sharp as we go through, and all the while it is experiential in nature. What do you mean experiential? As you study, you should check your experience. Is it so? Is it so? Is it so? Okay? Let's go. Now, first verse, what we will do, I will request Devaki Chaitanya to chant the verses. We can repeat, and then I will.
Rūpam drishyam locanam drik tad-drishyam drik mānasam drishyate-dhī-vrittayah sākshī drik-eva-na-tu drishyate
Rūpam drishyam
locanam drik
drishyam
drik mānasam drishyate-dhī-vrittayah sākshī drik-eva-na-tu drishyate.
Very simple words. Basic knowledge of Sanskrit also is not required. Rūpam, drishyam, locanam, drik. So two words are going to be repeated again and again. One is drishyam, another is drik. Two words. What are the two words? Drishyam, drik. So keep this in mind. Drishyam means what? Seen. Seen. Drishyate iti drishyam. So what is drishyam in English? Seen. Next word is drik. Pashyati iti drik. Pashyati iti drik. Pashyati iti drik means what? That which sees is a drik. Seer. So I'll be now using drishyam and drik comfortable. Many times not translating. What are the two words? Drishyam, drik. Drishyam means what? Seen. Drik means what? Seer. Alright? Now, let's go. Rūpam drishyam. Rūpam, form, color. Rūpam drishyam. Drishyam means what? Seen. So in this world, where do we see this rūpam? In this world. Loke rūpam drishyam bhavati. That is the actual sentence. In this world, the form is what is seen. So we start the journey, Drig Drishya Viveka. Where do we start? We start with what we see. Rūpam drishyam. Okay. Now when you say something is seen, it has a question. Who is the seer? So when you say something is seen, it has an expectancy. Who sees it? Rūpam drishyam. Locanam drik. Locanam is eye. The eye is the seer. Locanam drik. That which perceives, that which cognizes, that which sees the form, that is the drik. Drik means what? That is a seer. So, rūpam drishyam, locanam drik. Seer and seen are different. I cannot say rūpam drishyam, rūpam drik. Can I say? I cannot say the form is seen, the form is the seer. Can I say that? No. The seer and the seen are different. So that differentiation he is communicating now. Rūpam drishyam, locanam drik. The form is seen, the eye is the seer. Anybody has got any objections? No, no objection. Rūpam drishyam, locanam drik. Locanam chakshuhu. The eye is the seer. All right. So the eye is the seer. But interestingly, tad-drishyam, the eye is also finally experienced. Tad-drishyam, tad means what? Tat locanam, that eye. That eye is drishyam. Tad-drishyam. Tad-drishyam means what? The object is outside. The eye is inside. The inside eye sees the outside object. First is the seer. The seer and the seen are different. The drishyam and the drik are different. Point number one. And then when you look at that seen-seer relationship, you will find the seen-seer relationship extends little more inward also. How? The eye itself becomes a seen. What do you mean eye itself becomes a seen? Eye itself becomes a seen when you can't see well, or when you see well. You know, is it not? We have the knowledge of the functioning of the eye. Now, when you say, and therefore I can say, the eyes I know. When you say the eyes I know, now the knower of that eye is different, distinct, apart from the eye. Because the knower and the known are different from each other. The seer and the seen are different from each other. And therefore, when the eyes are known, what is that seer which is different from the eye? Now, that seer which is different from the eye is not outside somewhere. Form is outside, seer is inside. Eye is seen, meaning eye is outside. The seer is inside. The seer is not outside. So what is the step one of Drig Drishya Viveka differentiation? Laws. The seer and the seen are different. Second law, the seen is outside, the seer is inside. And that is our experience. Who sees the eye? You say, I. Now you see, problem you see. Who sees the object? I see the object. Who sees the object? Who sees the form? E-Y-E sees. Step 1. Now, then I say, okay, I see, but is not the I also seen? Yes. I is also seen. Who sees? You cannot say I sees the I. EYE sees the EYE. You can't say. Why? The seer and the seen are different. Apply rule number 1. So therefore, now you have to discover who is that who sees the I. Śaṅkarācārya says, Drik-tu-mānasam. Can you see the word? Drik-tu-mānasam. So the mind becomes a seer. Now mind becomes a seer. How? Mind becomes a seer because the mind is able to tell, yes, I should go to the doctor. Nowadays I am not able to see things which are close. Far things I am able to see. I should go to doctor. Who says? Mind intellect only is telling. Is it not? Therefore, Drik-tu-mānasam. Mind is the knower. This very same, all these points, he himself is going to elaborate in the next verse. Therefore, I am not going much deeper into this at this point of time. Drik-tu-mānasam. Drik, seer. Drik-tu, indeed, the mind is the seer. Okay. So now we have gone how many levels? Level 1, I is the seer. Object is the seen. Level 2, mind is the seer. I is the seen. EYE is the seen. Okay, mind is the seen. Agreed. Now, is not the mind also the seen? Yes, we are aware of the mind. What do you mean you are aware of the mind? Mind is thoughts. Flow of thoughts is mind. Do you see me? Yes, eyes are seeing. Do you see me well? Yes, we see you well. Who's telling? Mind is telling, yes. Eyes can't tell you are seeing me well. I can only see. But mind tells eyes is seeing well. Right? Do you understand what I am telling? Understanding is a thought. Swamiji, so far okay. You can go further, no problem. We understand. What is understanding? Understanding is a dhī-vritti. Dhī-vritti, dhī is mind, intellect. Vritti is thought. Thoughts make the mind. Mind manifests as thought. So, the thoughts, do you understand? Yes. Yes, understand. Who is that who is aware that you are understanding? Next question. dhī-vrittayah drishyā. Look at that. The thoughts also are known. And when the thoughts are known, you have to ask the question, who is the knower? And then you have to apply the first law. What is the first law? The seer and the seen are different. First law. And what is the second law? The seen is outside, the seer is within. Who is that who is seeing these thoughts? dhī-vrittayah drishyāha. Drishyāha bhavanti. Sākshī drigeva. Sākshī drigeva. The mind is seeing, but who is the seer? The seer is the inner witness. Sākshī, that consciousness. That sees. Sākshī. What do you mean that sees? That which is seeing the mind is called sākshī. Why it is called sākshī? Why it is termed sākshī? Because the rest of the things can't be called sākshī. What is this answer, Swamiji? Because the word Sākshī means that which sees without anything's help. And only this consciousness can be defined so. Can you say, even though eyes are seeing, even though eye is seeing, even though EYE is seeing, can you say that is Sākshī? No, sir, you can't call that as Sākshī even though it is seeing. Swamiji, eye is also seeing, mind is also seeing, consciousness also is seeing, but why can't I call eye also a Sākshī? Why can't I call mind also a Sākshī? I can't say. Only consciousness can be called as Sākshī because only consciousness satisfies the definition of Sākshī. What is the definition of Sākshī? That which sees without any assistance. Sakshat ikshate iti Sākshī. Sakshat means what? Nobody is helping. It directly sees, independently sees. Can I say eyes independently see? No. If the light goes away, you can't see. Can I say mind sees independently? No. Mind without eye can't see. Not only that, eyes also without mind can't see. They are seers, but they are dependent seers. But does the consciousness require the assistance of light to see the thoughts? No. Does consciousness require the assistance of anything to see the thought? Does it require the eyes to help it see the thought? No. How does it see? It sees directly without any assistance. Sakshat ikshate iti Sākshī. Sakshat directly. Ikshate perceives, sees. Sakshat ikshate iti Sākshī. Do you find the word Sākshī, the word? There is a Sa is there, there is a Iksh is there. See the words? Sakshat ikshate iti Sākshī. And that is why consciousness alone can be given the appellation. Consciousness alone can be given the nomenclature. Consciousness alone can be termed Sākshī and not the rest. Anything difficult in this? No, Swamiji. dhī-vrittayah sākshī drigeva. The sākshī is the seer. But what kind of seer it is? Objects were the seen. I was a seer. But I itself, EYE, itself became the seen. And mind then became the seer. But mind it also became the seen. And consciousness became the final, ultimate seer. But then, does consciousness become an object of something? No. And therefore, Sākshī Drig-eva. Unlike the eye, unlike the mind, which is though temporarily, relatively, the seer, they also became the seen. But consciousness is not a temporary seer. In Indian English, consciousness is not a temporary seer. Temporary, we say temporary. Consciousness is not a temporary seer. It's not a temporary seer. Consciousness is not a relative seer. Consciousness is not for some time seer. Consciousness is not that seer which can also be spoken of as seen. Consciousness is seer per se. Consciousness is seer ultimate. S capital, U capital. In English, sometimes we say consciousness is the ultimate seer. Ultimate becomes adjective. But suppose we say consciousness is seer ultimate. Badhiya hai na? That's better. Consciousness is seer ultimate. Drig-eva. That is the meaning of Drig-eva. Drig is seer. Eva is ultimate. Consciousness is seer ultimate. What do you mean seer ultimate? Never can you call it the seen. No, Swamiji, we can call it seen. How do you say? Yes, Swamiji, something will be there to see. What is there to see? That should be either consciousness or it should be inert, isn't it? One of the two possibilities. You can't say inert sees the consciousness. So option number 2 is gone. Option number 1, consciousness seeing consciousness. That is what I said, consciousness is there. The consciousness is seer. No. Can't there be a different consciousness that sees this consciousness? Okay, now tell me what is the nature of that consciousness. That nature of that consciousness is inert. How can inert see consciousness? No, nature of that consciousness is consciousness. And that is what I am saying, consciousness. Why are you saying consciousness sees consciousness? Please understand, consciousness word means it is consciousness. Are you getting what I am saying? When I say consciousness, that means consciousness. What are you telling, Swamiji? Consciousness means consciousness. That which is self-aware is called consciousness. So consciousness does not require a consciousness to know. The very fact it is consciousness means it is consciousness. It is self-aware. This is what is spoken in Vedanta. Given, you must have heard, Swaprakasha. Have you heard? Swaprakasha. Swaprakasha means what? Self-effulgent. Swayam Jyoti. Self-luminant. Swayam Jyoti. Consciousness, Drig-eva, is a seer alone, is seer ultimate. And because it is consciousness, it never needs to be known to be known. Natu drishyate. It is never known. And that is why we are saying it is seer ultimate. It is seer ultimate means what? Never can it be given a nomenclature now at any time. At any time. When the eyes are seeing, it is given a nomenclature. When the eyes are seeing the form, it is given the nomenclature seer. But that nomenclature seer for the eye is only relative. When the mind sees the eye becomes the seen. The mind is a seer also relatively. Why? Because when the mind is seen, as it is seen always, consciousness becomes a seer. Now, extending that, can I say consciousness also becomes a seen when consciousness sees consciousness? No, consciousness is self-aware. It is never need to be known. There's never need to know it because it is self-aware. It is Swayam Jyoti. It is Swaprakasha. That is why it is called consciousness. So it remains ever the seer and never the seen. Never the seen. Natu drishyate. Natu. No. Drishyate, not seen. But you see the word na tu drishyate. Natu drishyate means what? See, not the seen is one way of telling, not the seen. Consciousness is not the seen. But to say consciousness is never the seen, that is natu. Not the seen is na drishyate. What is natu? Never the seen. Of course, Drig-eva was said. It is seer ultimate. What do you mean by seer ultimate? Explanation. Natu drishyate. Never the seen. Swamiji, too many points, Swamiji, in one verse. What is this? Too much. Slowly, Swamiji, everything in one verse it is there. Yes. This is called as Vastu Sangraha Vakya. Vakya statement. Sangraha collects. One pithy statement that collects all the teaching. Vastu. Vastu is all the points. A statement, a small pithy statement, which collects all the important teachings and presents it at one go, which should be elaborated later, that is called Vastu Sangraha Vakya. Swamiji, too many points you told too fast. Okay. One small statement. All right. Collecting all the essential teaching. Second point. Third point, which will be elaborated later. Such a statement which does these three functions is called as Vastu Sangraha Vakya. These three functions. Number one, it should be small. Number two, it should be small, okay, but it should collect all the points, 2. And number 3, it should be elaborated later. That also is there. Only small statement collecting all points, not elaborated later, that cannot be called Vastu Sangraha Vakya. Small statement collecting all points with the intention that it ought to be elaborated later. This is a methodology of teaching in Vedanta. First they will tell everything to be told in one go. And then they will elaborate. And then ultimately they will tell the same thing again. First time when you hear, you will look with a question mark. Last time when you hear afterwards, you will say, That's the methodology. But why should you tell in the beginning itself? You should be prepared what all is going to come. And you would be ready with your questions. And then as the explanation goes, clarification will come. Okay? So now we go to the second verse. And as you know, the second verse is going to be elaboration of the first verse. The third verse is also going to be elaboration of the first verse. The fourth verse also is going to be elaboration of the first verse. The fifth verse is also going to be elaboration of the first verse. So if you have not understood anything now, don't you have to worry. This will become clear in the next verse. Shall we go to the next verse?
nīla-pīta-sthūla-sūkshma
nīla-pīta-sthūla-sūkshma
hrasva-dīrghādi-bhedatah nānā-vidhāni rūpāni pashyet locanam ekadhā nīla-pīta-sthūla-sūkshma hrasva-dīrghādi-bhedatah nānā-vidhāni rūpāni pashyet locanam ekadhā.
What is the first law of Drig Drishya Viveka? Seer and seen are different. What is the second law of Drig Drishya Viveka? Seen is outside, seer is inside. Keep that separately. Yeah? All these laws you must keep in mind. Now we go further. We will discover a few more laws here. Now, what is the first verse? What is the first verse? Can we all say it together? Because that is a very important verse, is it not? If you memorize that verse, you memorize the whole text. See? One verse you get, everything you have got. So what are you, Swamiji, hinting at? That verse you memorize. When should I memorize, Swamiji? 10 days are there. But memorize. So first verse, shall we all say together? Rūpam drishyam locanam drik tadrishyam driktu mānasam drishyādhī-vrittayah sākshī drigeva natu drishyate. All right. Now going further, when it is said rūpam, drishyam, locanam, drik, first pada, first quarter of the first verse, that is elaborated in the second verse. What is that first pada saying? The form is seen, rūpam, drishyam, locanam, drik. The eye is the EYE, the eye is the seer. Why do you say that? Explain that. Yes, we'll explain to you. Please listen to it carefully. It's very evident. I'm sure you will comprehend it without any difficulty. That is the kind of presentation. nīla-pīta-sthūla-sūkshma hrasva-dīrghādi-bhedatah nānā-vidhāni rūpāni. Locanam ekadhā pashyel. Not clear? If you know Sanskrit, very clear. The form is the seen, eye is the seer. Why? Because of this reason. Nīla. When we say rūpa, what do we mean by rūpa? Rūpa literally means form or color. What do we understand by that? It includes all these things. Nīla, blue. Nīla can also be black. Blue. Pīta, yellow. Blue and yellow. Black and white. Nīla-pīta. Pīta is yellow, but can also mean kind of white also. Yellow is kind of white only actually, Many times I can't differentiate yellow and white. I mean strong yellow I can. But they have so many kind of yellows. They call it ivory white. I say it looks like yellow. No, it's ivory white. Okay. ठीक. Black and white. nīla-pīta. Sthūla-sūkshma. Sthūla is what? Sthūla is big. Sūkshma, small. Hrasva-dīrghā. Hrasva is short. Dirgha is long. X-axis, Y-axis. See the presentation. X-axis, Y-axis. Now we will say X-axis, Y-axis. Na? That's our terminology. It is the Sanskrit terminology. First is what? Black and white. All colors. Large and small, X-axis. Short and long, Y-axis. All of them, hrasva-dīrghā, Ādi. Ādi means what? It is not just black and white, it is not just blue and yellow, but all other colors. Brown, pink, all the colors all of them you add. And the in-between shades also like ivory white and beige. There's a color called beige, na? The beige is there and so many colors are there. There's a brinjal color, I don't know what they call that. Huh? See, some color is there. Brinjal color is not pink, no? That is called violet. Violet, okay. So many colors are there. Orange also. So many oranges, so many yellows. Even though I have wear only orange, people have given me different kind of orange. So I have it in my cupboard. And then one day I decide, I'll wear this orange. I wear this orange. Next day I wear that orange, but it is orange only. All these colors. Sthūla-sūkshma. I'm explaining Ādi is there, na? Not everything is already big and small. There's something mediocre, middle also. All these things. Bhedatah. These differences. nānā-vidhāni rūpāni. So when we say rūpam drishyam, nānā-vidhāni rūpāni. Here comes the third law. The scene is many. Nānā-vidhāni. Whereas the seer is one. Pashyet locanam ekadhā. Locanam, the eye. Pashyet, sees. Would see them. How does it see? Ekadhā. Ekadhā means what? Being one, being of one nature, being uniform, not becoming many because it is seeing many, not changing itself because it is seeing something. Eyes are seeing black. Eye becomes black. No. Not possible. Eye remains untouched. Eye remains ekadhā. Ekadhā means what? Ekadhā means of one nature. Changeless. Nirvikara ityartha. Non-modified. Being eka-rūpa in Sanskrit, if you want to say. Being one form, of one nature. So forms are many. The forms are many. nīla-pīta-sthūla-sūkshma, hrasva-dīrghādi, Ādi, etc. But how about the seer? The seer remains one and uniform. One and uniform. No, Swamiji, I've got two eyes. What do you mean one eye? My two eyes are working. The faculty of perception through the two eyes is one. The faculty of perception, the ability to comprehend, the ability to see through both eyes is one. And this faculty of perception is called as sense in Vedanta. In Vedanta, when I say eye, okay? When I say eye or ear or nose or tongue or skin, I am not referring to the physical. In Vedanta, the physical is only a gateway. The physical is only the means for the senses to function. The faculty of perception, the faculty of seeing is eye. The faculty of hearing is the ear. This is not the ear. This is only called golaka. In Sanskrit we use this term, golaka. But what is the eye? The eye, the sense eye is a faculty of seeing. It is subtle. It is not gross. It is not physical. All right. Therefore, the eye, the faculty of perception, remaining one, it comprehends the many. So, first law is the seer and the seen are different. Second law is the seen is outside, the seer is within. The third law is the seen is many, the seer is one and uniform, changeless. One and changeless. Changeless means what? Does not change according to the seen. That's what we mean by changeless. That's what we mean by changeless. That's why I say one and uniform. Of one nature, eka-rūpena. All right. So what have we seen in this verse? We have seen the explanation of the first quarter. Rūpam, drishyam, locanam, drik. The form is the seen, the eye is the seer. And then now we have derived three laws. Yes? Three laws. Should I say the three laws again? Please say, Swamiji, you want to say. Number one, the seer and the seen. This time you should join with me and say, not look at your book. Okay? If you want, you look at your book once, whatever you have written, and then look at me, and then I'm going to look at you, and we are going to say it together. Okay? Very important. That's why I'm saying all these things. What is the first one? The seer and the seen are different. What is the second law? Okay, first law of Drig Drishya Viveka over. Second law of Drig Drishya Viveka, the seen is outside, the seer is within. What is the third law of Drig Drishya Viveka? The seen is many, the seer is one and uniform. One and uniform. Underline uniform. Okay. Now next what? So you said, no Swamiji, the next was also explanation. Yes, but explanation of what? Rūpam drishyam. First verse, let's say it together. Rūpam drishyam locanam drik. Tad-drishyam drik-tu mānasam. Tad-drishyam drik-tu mānasam. Tad-drishyam means what? The lochana, the eye is the seen, the mind is the seer. First step what? The form is the seen, the eye is the seer. Second step is what? The eye is the seen, the mind is the seer. Explain that. That is the next verse. Āndhya-māndya-patutveshu
netra-dharmeshu caikadhā sankalpayen manah shrotra
sankalpayen manah shrotra
tvag-ādau yojyatām
tvag-ādau yojyatām
āndhya-māndya-patutveshu netra-dharmeshu caikadhā sankalpayen manah shrotra tvag-ādau yojyatām.
So what do you mean by eye is seen, mind is seer? This is what I mean. Āndhya-māndya-patutveshu netra-dharmeshu. This is the dharma of the netra. What is netra? Netra is eye. What was the word used for eye here? Locanam. One more word also I used for explaining locanam. What was that? Chakshu. Wow. Sanskrit scholars in front of me. Locanam, chakshu, netra. In this way you can build up your Sanskrit vocabulary also. You don't have to go and study Sanskrit grammar to build vocabulary. Just look at what you are studying. You will get everything. Netra-dharma. These are the dharma of the netra. Dharma of the lochana, dharma of the chakshu, the property of the eye. Properties of the eye. Because why? Seen is many. No? The seer is one. What are the various properties? Āndhya. Āndhya is blindness. Māndhya, mediocrity. Dullness. Patutva, sharp. When it is andhya, when it is blind, you see nothing. Seeing nothing is equal to total blindness, correct? Seeing nothing. And what is mandhya? Seeing something. Nothing is blindness. And mandhya, the dullness of the eye is what? You see something. That is called mandhya. And patutva is what? You see everything fully. Nothing, something, everything. If you are sitting somewhere back and some tall person is sitting in front of you, what do? Why? He is blocking. Therefore you know. What do you know? Swamiji is hidden partially. Mandhya. And therefore you decide next time, I am not going to sit behind this man. And when you see that man, danger. And you tell the other person also, oh, tall hai. Somebody should tell him to sit in the back. Nobody will go and tell him. Yes, how? Yeah. Āndhya-māndya. So when, to put it little more technically, abhava, nothing you see, that is āndhya, blind. Samanya rūpa, general form, that becomes māndya. Vishesha rūpa, you see all the particularities. Vishesha, samanya, vishesha, all the particularities you see. That becomes patutva. Netra-dharmeshu. In this way, the properties of the eye are varied and manifold. But then manah ekadhā sankalpayen. The mind sees all of them by being uniform. Meaning what? It does not, while seeing the blindness of the eye, it does not become blind. While seeing the mediocrity of the eye's capacity, it doesn't become mediocre in its knowledge. And when the eyes are seeing crystal clear, perfect, its ability to know the eye does not grow. It remains the same. It remains one and uniform in the cognitions of the I being perfect, mediocre, and dull or blind. That's how we know, isn't it? My eyes are not that great. I need to consult the doctor very fast. I should not delay. We are able to sankalpayen. Sankalpayen means what? We are able to think about it. We are able to think about the eye. We are able to think about the eye means what? We are able to know the eye. Without knowing, how can you think? Over. Now Śaṅkarācārya gives a homework for all of us. Shrotra tvag-ādau yojyatām idam. I have only done for one sense for you. Only I did for you. Rūpam, drishyam, locanam, drik. Now other things you do yourself. Shrotra tvag-ādau. Shrotra is ear. Tvak is skin. Adi is etc. Meaning what? Other than the eye, whatever senses are there, for all of them you work out these laws of Drig Drishya Viveka. Shrotra tvag-ādau, shrotra, ear. Meaning what? Shrotram, tvak, chakshuhu, rasana, granam. 5 senses. Shrotram, ear. Tvak, skin. Chakshuhu, eye. Rasana, taste, the faculty of taste or tongue, what you call. Then next one is grana. Grana is the faculty of smelling. Olfactory they call. In all of them, yojyatām idam. These principles you apply for yourself. You do it yourself. I have done one. I want you to do all these things yourself. Why? Then only you will have clarity by yourself. Classwork, homework. In the class, teacher does 2 math, 2 sums, and then the rest of the 5 he says, you do now. Same way you should do. Classwork, homework. What is the idam, yojyatām idam? Apply these. Apply these. What are the rules? Rule number 1, the seer and the seen are different. The ear and the sound is different. I am not going to do, okay? Because you said do it yourself. So I should not do. Huh? So, first rule, the seer and the seen are different. Second rule, the seen is outside, the seer is inside. And what is the third rule? The seen is many, The seer is one and uniform. Apply this to all the senses and check for yourself. Okay? So we finished 3 verses. The next session we'll go to the 4th verse. And what is the 4th verse? The 4th verse goes to sākshī. And then starts our fun. Okay? Alright, we conclude now. Don't forget the 3 laws when you come tomorrow. Okay. Purnamidam purnāt purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari